Welcome back, everyone. Let's head to the national dailies this morning. We're joined by the commissioning editor, the Conservation Africa, Wale Fatade, joins us live on the program virtually. Thank you indeed, Mr. Fatade, for joining us here on the program. So many
morning,
papers.
Good morning, Bukola. Good morning, everybody.
Well, good morning. Well, perhaps we should begin with this Nigeria. It leads with something that we've had to treat on this show over and over again. Fake agency reps open probe as ICPC quizzes Gbajabiamila. Chief of Staff confirms honoring anti-graft agency's invitation on President's directive. Mr. Fatade, well, the concern for many Nigerians is that perhaps this would have been made public, this hearing or probe. Nigerians would have loved to perhaps watch this live on television so they can see exactly how these investigations is ongoing. Do you agree?
Well, if it's, thank you, if it's a hearing by a National Assembly organ, I mean the Senate or House of Reps, we can't advocate for that. But for an hearing by a security agency, no, that will not do well. Whatever ICPC is what today, and I don't know how far about their operations or the strides, whether giant or low strides they might be making. You don't conduct security trials or security investigation, rather. You don't conduct that in the public layer. With a hearing by the Senate or by the House of Reps, that's understandable. But even though, for me, the other thing now, will it not be worthwhile for the Chief of Staff to actually step down for a while or stand aside until this hearing is concluded or this investigation is concluded? Because, all appointees of the president, they report to the president through the Chief of Staff. So there's a serious conflict of interest here. When that phrase conflict of interest, I, for one, and I don't know who are the investigators, I will have my doubts about the outcome of this investigation. Because the chairman of ICPC is an appointee of the president, even though I think he was confirmed by the Senate. And so he doesn't pass any memo, he passes through the Attorney General or the Minister of Justice, and no memo from any minister goes to the president without going through the Chief of Staff or the Secretary of the Government of the Federation. And so it's just, there's a kind of intricate web that I don't really support here. The investigation should not be done by the Chief of Staff is still in office. That's where I stand. But then I don't think security investigation should be done in the public there. No, it doesn't all go well. We don't cut off the head because of the headache.
Well, sounds very much like, the commentary that has shaped this particular story from the onset. And we wonder if the administration is listening in because of the optics of this particular story.
The administration is immune to scandals. Scandals don't move them. We should all be used to that now.
Well, we'll find out about that in the coming days as, pressure continues to mount for the right thing to be done. But let's get to the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Of course, it appears as if, there was a meeting of all the editors, because that's a front page story on the Guardian as well. ICPC scandal, ICPC quizzes Gbajabiamila as House summons key agencies over lapses. But there are other stories that we can also chew on this morning, and I'd like you to tie two particular stories together. There's this one, of course, it also broke from about last week. Group sues Umahi, IGP, others over Habila's death. There's also another one right beside it. ADC demands full disclosure of 7.13 trillion naira energy security expenditure. Don't forget that, the former vice president and presidential candidate of the ADC, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is also pointing out a certain 2.7 billion naira overlap items found in the 2026 budget, calling for an audit of the 2026 budget. And so, this is related. They're all related in the same breath. So I'd like you to speak to these stories one after the other.
Wow. Bukola, you put me in a tight corner. Because really, when you see all these figures flying around, those of us who are not too friendly with figures, we begin to wonder how come our country has not actually collapsed. Now, you can call a budgetary item anything. You can give it a cognomen or any heading. That does not still remove the fact that money has been spent. And I want to start with the so-called energy security expenditure. What does that mean? You told us, the President Tinubu, I mean now, on May 29, 2023, no more subsidy. And it was in the full glare at Eagle Square. And all of us are paying the price. As at yesterday, a liter of petrol in my axis has gone to about as much as 1,300 or 1,400 per liter. And we understand. So what is this energy security expenditure again about? The government, as in the federal government, must come out clear and clean to Nigerians on what this expenditure is all about. And granted, politicians, all of them they can play politics. They can call a bad name in order to hang it or whatever. We understand that. But the government owes an explanation on that. But then there's another whatever billion that you mentioned. You just get confused with billion, trillion. What's happening? I don't want to believe and I don't want to think that that's what the federal government is doing with our loans that they are collecting on their behalf. That's what. The other one on our Minister Umai, and you discover that even the police that should have been giving us regular briefing on the investigation, how far they have gone, we don't get to hear from the police. And if not for journalists like you and I who have kept this on the front burner, I think our Minister of Works actually want to walk through or walk away from the scandal as it were. Again, as I said, the administration is immune to scandal. You see scandal left, right, and center. We just had, was it last week or was it last week, an ambassadorial nominee who had a plethora of cases surrounding him, who actually have been accused of multiple times now of sexual harassment. That's the person that will represent our country. So you just discover that it's like an administration of people with scandals trailing them, and it seems as if the more scandalous the appointees are, the better suitable or more fit they are for office. So I think we need to come through about that. The other one, I think I missed, you raised three. So I think I only spoke about two. Please remind me, what's the third one?
Well, a group is suing the IGP and I believe the Minister of Works over the death of...
Oh, that's public interest. That's public interest
nurse.
litigation.
Yes.
That's supported. Please let them go ahead. Because we really should know what happened to that young woman. We should know. We deserve to know. The anonymity of death is something that's how a senior of mine put it some time ago. That when people die, we just allow that they died, and that's all. But thank God for Sahara reporters and colleagues who are keeping this on the front burner. We need to know what really happened. Now I hope nobody is listening to the family who allegedly said they don't want autopsy. No, it's a matter for the state to decide, not for the family at this level.
Yes, interesting perspective you brought, Mr. Fasade, and I don't know whether we need to use legislation. You know, the law says, I don't know whether we need to, Bukola and Kari will tell me that we don't legislate morality, but morality is about honor, and I don't know where honor...
But we can legislate ethical conduct.
So
we can legislate good conduct.
I don't
let
know
them leave Bukola and Kari, who are philosophers along that line. But I stand with you along this line, that we should legislate ethical conduct. We should legislate good conduct. We should do that.
Because it's very troubling to see, back and forth, I was listening to the Senate President making that case about the man they say had sexual and nothing has been proven. Have they exhausted the case in court? So for instance...
The cases are still in court.
For instance, if Okowa, the former governor of Delta State, is having a burden to go and clear his name over some allegation of 1-point-something trillion, but the man has a ticket. Now, I'm not saying he's
just
guilty.
Just like the former Kogi State governor.
Yeah, Bello.
He has a ticket too.
He has a ticket.
And he's even tromping around telling people that will show them.
We're not saying they are guilty, but I just feel that sometimes if you have this kind of weight over you, why don't you wait it out?
What if they ended up being declared guilty by the court? What does that say?
Anyway, that's in fact, maybe we'll bring you for that conversation for another day.
No problem.
New Telegraph.
For that.
So these are allegations, but the weight of the allegations, sometimes you feel that they should wait it out until it's cleared by the court. But this is Nigeria. New Telegraph. Well, two stories. The first one, 2026 appropriation bill. Northern Christians challenge FG over disparity in 8.05 billion Naira religious project. I don't know what a religious project is, so I'm trying to see alleged
So they are trying
discrimination.
to, there is allocation for building mosques and churches
Okay.
in the 2026 budget. So I presume that is because that's the one that's been in the news for a while now.
Why should the state be building mosques and
Be
churches?
building mosques and churches. As a matter of fact, why should the state be involved in pilgrimage? Religion is a personal affair.
Anyway, anyway, so but on top of that story, just below the nameplate, you can see Fayose. Tinubu appoints Fayose as my people are laughing, guys, calm down. REA chairman, Bindawa head, NSIWC 24 orders into 10 federal agents. Are you surprised that Fayose has finally?
No, I'm not. He's been hanging around President Tinubu. As a matter of fact, at certain times or certain moments, he had actually professed more love for President Tinubu than Tinubu. So this is not surprising. And you see him propagating the gospel of APC more than the PDP, whichever faction he belongs to, that he still claims to be a member. So it's not surprising. But again, you seem to ask the question. There's a principle called the principle of 5, which tells us that the 5 closest people to you, when we examine them critically, we can predict how your life will turn out in the next 10 years. You start to wonder again the kind of people all under the guise of politicking that our president attracts to himself.
Well, Mr. Wale,
Very strong words.
these are really very strong words. Maybe it's because Mr. Fayose believes that, someone from the South should be president. I mean, I don't hold brief for him or speak for him, but
it's not more Yoruba than me or Bukola. And there are many other Yoruba people across the globe, or Nigerian citizens for that matter. The president was not elected only by Yoruba votes, and he's not going to be re-elected if he's going to be by Yoruba votes alone.
Well, I used South. I didn't say Yoruba. I used South.
Oh, you used South. Okay,
yes.
so that means that should include people like you too and Jeffrey.
We're not politicians.
Okay, it should include people. I don't know your home state, but it should include people from Rivers of Jeffrey. So
I also suspect that Wike may have played it because he's a very good friend of Yeson Wike, and Wike is very close to the because.
So that means Rivers is represented.
Wike is a member. Wike is a member of the APC in spirits, but in body is a member of the PDP.
We wait for Edo there to be represented.
But Mr. Fasade, I wonder if you're looking at the big picture beyond the humor of this particular story. This brings to 2 members of the PDP who have an appointment in this administration, who openly profess love, borrowing your words, for Mr. President and the APC. Recall that in the Ekiti election, former Governor Ayo Fayose unabashedly supported the APC candidate and incumbent, returned winner of the election. And so this is a continuing redefinition or recharacterization of our political landscape, where members of a political party openly support the ruling party, and they refuse to relinquish their positions in the former party.
In the other party.
Yeah.
But we've said this many times here, and I've watched even fellow analysts who have come, that the difference between our political parties in Nigeria is 6.5 dozen. At different levels, it's just a tag. It's an identity card or identification card for them to move around. There's no difference. That's where I stand. I mean, there might be a pocket of 1 or 2. And those little, if I'm sorry to refer them, those smaller parties in terms of their population, that they are not yet pronounced. Maybe they are the ones that are different. Because otherwise, have you seen our politicians espousing anything different? They keep on making the same mistake. Now, look at the kind of sitting the National Assembly has had, or Senate especially, on different issues. You rarely see non-APC senators walking out. Or fine, sometimes once in a while they raise their voice, but they don't do anything. What you are is that we are going into what is what they call the committee of the House, and then they send out journalists, they send out non-senators, and after that they come out and they keep smiling. they are not espousing anything different. So it might be done in a way, somebody playing what the Yoruba phrase we call kosheku kosheye, which they refer to bat, but actually bat is a mama. So you are neither here nor there, and it works for them. And I don't think it is going to stop, because what could have stopped it would have been if the people in power, they ostracize these ones and they just put do not touch on them. But they ended up fraternizing with them and carousing with them. So we are not going to see anything change. And you see Nigerians supporting this, that it's just politics. It's not played by Puritans. It's only all manner of people should come. It is what it is, and that's why we keep getting what we are getting.
Mr. Fatade, well, some would say it's a game. You have to play to win and not lose.
But we saw the final of the World Cup. A player got red card. So when you don't play the game according to the rules, you'll be given red card.
Well, not in politics, in football, yes. But let's take a look at
no, you use the analogy of the game. That's why I'm saying
the Vanguard. Before we let you go, Mr. Fatade, the Vanguard newspaper, just at the bottom there, I want you to speak to this because it's official. 2027, Kwankwaso confirms written one-term agreement with Obi. So it's a one-term ticket. The last time a president said he was going to do one term, Mr. God rest his soul, Muhammadu Buhari, he did 2 terms. In this part of the world, I'm not sure just how we get to keep to our word when politics and power and influence is involved. Do you believe that Mr. Peter Obi will indeed do a single term if he does become president?
Wow. You are putting me in a tight corner. I don't speak or work for Mr. Obi, but we can only speak based on the antecedents or the precedents that we have seen. And just as you said it, Mr. Kwankwaso is an experienced politician, a House of Reps member, former senator, former minister, former governor. I'm not sure there's any office, and I think he actually started as Kano municipal, whatever, local government chair. So he has been everywhere. But I'm sure he himself knows better than all of us here, those of you in the studio and me now, and a lot of our viewers, that look, that arrangement or that agreement is not cast in stone. Politician will always be politician. I bet it, if Mr. Obi eventually becomes the president, right from May 2027, or in fact June 2027, there will be a group of citizens ask for Obi's second term. And they will be campaigning vociferously. They will be so strident and loud in their campaign that no, only Peter Obi can do it. Remember, just after he's sworn in, so Mr. Kwankwaso should know that is not cast in stone. And I won't be shocked that if he himself come 2027, that's if their party wins, he will be the one that will be leading that my principal will do better. So we need more 4 years to consolidate whatever we have started. So I take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah. That's me.
So before we go, I think we have some more time. Staying with the Vanguard, I would like you to speak to this borrowing. Nigeria's debt figures exaggerated. That's according, I think, the Minister of Finance, coordinating Minister of the Economy. Senators lament non-implementation of the 2026 budget. So I think I saw an excerpt of what they were saying about. He talked about the president met 80 trillion. The valuation of the naira added some, I think 20-something or 30-something trillion. And then the ways and means that was securitized because it has accumulated interest, under the other administration, also pushed up that number. But I don't know whether it gave us exactly what this current administration has actually borrowed on its own. What do you make of the story?
Well, and I'm speaking out with that, the benefit of the full story. I hope the minister actually provided what the figure is. And I hope our colleagues that were at the event, if they were allowed to ask questions, would have reminded him of other things that perhaps he left out. But the senators lamenting that 2026 budget has not been implemented, I don't know what to do. All of us, they are not senators. They are the ones that have the instrument. The Appropriation Act said no money should be spent without it being appropriated by the National Assembly. And so if you have that, what you have done, if your law is not being obeyed, if the law is not being followed, they have the instrumentality or the instruments now of calling the recalcitrant people into order. So if they are not doing that, why are they complaining about what we can actually not permit? They are just playing to the gallery. That's all. I'm not impressed by that. And no serious Nigerian should be impressed by that. You are the senator. The appropriation power is vested in you. So how have you guys done that? But why are we shocked? We've seen the principal officers of the Senate actually being more cheerleaders for the government, the executive, than they should be. So I don't think there's anything that will come out of that.
Yeah, well, and if they're citing, certain reasons, around the exchange rate, I'm wondering, is this not the same administration that celebrated the Naira for crude policy with Dangote refinery, and one of the fallouts of that being that, that led to stability in the foreign exchange?
Oh, brace up for air prices at the pump machines or the pumps. That's all. Because if you are, that will exert pressure on the foreign exchange that we have in Nigeria.
Well,
if they are paying, if Dangote is going to be paying for crude in dollar, wow.
Yeah.
And the consumers will bear the brunt.
That's in the future. I'm talking about prior to this time, because if they're saying that, you know, it's been exaggerated, because if it was 80 trillion before, it is the foreign exchange that has now, you know, quadrupled or multiplied the numbers. But at that time, yeah, you get my point now.
But as at yesterday or day before, if I recollect very well, or recollect it rather, it's about 1,365 or 362, the official rate, which I actually watch on your ticker tape on channel. So I don't know what has happened. So that was not the price that was not the figure for the exchange rate, the naira to dollar, when this government has been power.
Yeah, and so we'll continue to ask those questions and look forward to an opportunity with the Minister of Finance, such that we can get these clarifications. But we have time for just one more, and I want you to weigh in on this one that Jeffrey Kelly and I started with. It's on the front page of New Telegraph, at the bottom right strip, to be precise. Captured Ansaro leaders make U-turn, plead guilty to 32 terrorism charges. And if you read the story, it was said that, you know, the judge gave them an opportunity to change their plea. And I'm wondering how you're weighing in on this, against the backdrop also of the position by the DSS that they should get the ultimate penalty and not just a life sentence.
I stand with the DSS. Considering the kind of trauma they have put millions of Nigerians through, considering the fact that some of us have paid ransom money, have paid some people. I mean, considering the fact that many people have lost their loved ones, and considering the fact that a lot of our security agents have paid the supreme price, the DSS should appeal that. Because, you know, the fear for me, and with the kind of circumstances that surround us in Nigeria, who told us, or what tells us, that if these guys are kept in jail for life, some of their fellow comrades will not get into those prisons and spring them out again? That fear is palpable for me. And I mean, when you look at people who came out, the kind of post-traumatic stress disorder that they are battling with, wow, some of them will bear these scars for life. So you want to start walking around? No. They can repent between them and God, but then we must ensure our own justice here on that first.
Indeed.
Well, we have to leave it here, Mr. Wale. I'm sure many Nigerians will indeed agree with your submission about the fact that, you know what, let's handle it here when we get to heaven.
No, God can do his own part, no problem. We are not God.
His own part. But let's anchor here. Mr. Wale Fatade is the commissioning editor, The Conservation Africa. Thank you indeed for your insights on the program this morning.
Conversation Africa, just so that it's not conservation, conversation.
Oh, conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, apologies for that.
You're welcome, no problem.
Yeah. All right, well, we're done with the national dailies. It's time now to begin our conversations right here on the Morning Brief. We're back in just a moment. Please stay with us.